711 WPIX New York, a Tribune Broadcasting Station.
Ladies and gentlemen, Gary Moore.
Hi, my friends. Welcome to Tell the Truth. I want you to take a good look at a recently good friend of mine, like as of about the last 15 seconds. Isn't this a gorgeous animal? This animal's name is Jethro. And Jethro's owner is our first guest here on To Tell the Truth. And we're going to say hello to him as soon as Jethro and I, with a little luck, if he doesn't pull me off stage, he's strong. As soon as Jethro and I try to say hello to our panel here on To Tell the Truth.
Bert Convey. Peggy Cash. Bill Cullen and Kitty Carlisle.
Battle, there doesn't seem to be much doubt amongst you as to what kind of pussycat I've got hold of here, does it?
Beautiful.
Oh, look at him.
It is, of course, somebody say it.
A wolf.
It's a wolf, sure. It is a real full-blooded wolf, and I want to tell you he is friendly and loving, and we're going to meet his owner as soon as you take him off. Thank you very much. We'll see him a little bit later. Hey, he's exciting.
I knew it was a wolf from the back.
Boy, he's strong.
Is he? Why does he have a wolf?
He could just lick you to death, you know, and you're gone.
Yeah, well, that's...
But now, Jethro, the wolf, is the loving pet of our first guest right here on To Tell the Truth, and let's meet him right now.
Number one, what is your name, please?
My name is John Harris.
Number two.
My name is John Harris.
Number three.
My name is John Harris.
And our job is to pick out the real John Harris, listen to his story. I, John Harris, am fearful that the wolf may become extinct. Since our literature has conditioned us to the idea of the bloodthirsty big bad wolf, society does not seem to care that the wolf is an endangered species. The wolf is indeed a predatory animal, but he does not make unprovoked attacks on man. Actually, he is more frightened of man than man is of him. It says here, furthermore, I know from personal experience that the wolf is not only a curious and very intelligent creature, but a friendly animal as well. You see, I own not only Jethro, but also 24 other wolves. My wolf collection got started about 10 years ago when my wife brought home an adorable puppy to be our pet. To my astonishment, our puppy dog turned out to be a wolf. Signed, John Harris. And we will question these gentlemen in just a moment, but first a few cogent messages. I'll give you... I want to tell you, if I had seen that wolf yawn like that before, he just yawned, and the whole studio disappeared. Well, now remember that all three of the gentlemen seated across from you panel claim to be John Harris, the man who owns 26 wolves. And let's begin the questioning with our sheep and wolves clothing, Mr. Bert Convey.
I beg your pardon. Thank you. Number three, you say in your affidavit that you had a personal experience with a wolf. Would you like to explain that?
Well, actually what happened was that when my wife brought the puppy home, we were debating on what kind of an animal to have. And it was a toss-up between a St. Bernard or a puppy of her choice. Owning an inn, we thought the Bernard would be good because it was in Vermont.
Right. Number one, do you know anything about the mating habits of wolves? Since you are trying to preserve the species, they have a particular thing that's very sweet and really kind of nice.
Well, they're basically the same as any dog would be, and they live a quiet life.
Thank you. Number two, do you know anything in particular about the mating habits of wolves? Number three, do you?
Well,
does anybody know anything about the mating habits of... Bruno, would you like to... They're monogamous. They take one mate for life, which is pretty good. We have trouble making that, but the wolves seem to be able to do it fine. Number two, how much does a wolf like this one, like Jethro, eat a day?
About 7 pounds of meat a day.
I see.
Okay, Bert, thank you. You've been a little nervous for a while. Let's go to Peggy.
Swordfish are monogamous, too.
You're kidding.
No, penguins. Now,
But hardly worth, hardly worth the effort.
now, I want to ask you something. Number 2, is it not true that in Alaska they give bounties on wolves still?
Yes, they do.
Well, they should stop that, right?
Yes.
Right, okay, stop in Alaska. Now, number 3, is it not also true that wolves, instead of eating people, really eat more mice than anything else? I read that in a book.
A wolf will not attack a man. They're not that vicious. They're
Number
very
1,
friendly.
if I got a wolf puppy, I have 3 dogs already. I mean, he said I have to call my other dogs Alpo because the wolf would eat them up. Is that true?
No, it's not, but he is friskier than a household pet would be, yeah.
But now, number 2, is it not true that they need room, like a territorial imperative? How much room do you have where you keep 24 wolves?
We have individual pens 10 feet by 40 feet long.
And they're not unhappy in those pens?
No, they're not.
Number 3, what kind of a wolf is that? Where's he from?
This is a Canadian timber wolf.
Uh-huh. Now, number 1, where else? Are there any American wolves? Any, like, United States type wolves?
Well, they range anywhere from Alaska down to Mexico, and it would depend on the locality, the type you would have to assign a name.
Thank you, Peggy. And that takes us, please, to Bill Cullen.
Number 2, what is a Malamute?
It's a husky-type dog.
Uh-huh. Number 1, how does a Malamute differ from, say, a straight purebred Siberian Husky?
Not an awful lot of difference. Difference in the coat, mostly, the hair structure.
Number 3, is there any difference in their lineage?
No, sir.
Number 3, if I wanted to keep this dog here in Manhattan where I live, and I'm not making any overtures, I don't, but if I did, would I need special permission to keep him because, well, would I need special permission?
Yes.
Yeah, number 3.
Yes, you would. Absolutely, because there's a law against them in New York City.
Oh, there is?
Yes, sir.
Number 1, I know a girl who has an ocelot. Is that the car? No, the Jaguar's the car. This girl has an ocelot in an apartment in New York City. Is that legal, Len?
I am not familiar with the law, but it's not a good idea, no.
No. Yeah, number 2, that's a good question. Thank you. Can you housebreak a wolf, number 2?
Well, it's debatable. Some people say you can, and some people say you can't.
Well, number 3, what has been your...
Yes, Kitty. What?
Number 3, what has been your experience?
In housebreaking
Yes.
a wolf, we leave them outside.
Very smart. Now, number 2, what about all those stories about wolves attacking, fleeing people in the steppes of Russia when they were fleeing the communists in the troikas?
That's just part of the myth of wolves.
You mean they never attack people? Oh, come on.
Only when they're rabid do they attack man.
Oh, I see. Number 1, you said that wolves are friskier than dogs. What did you mean by friskier?
Well, they're more playful, and they're not as easy to train because they're
In what
smarter.
way playful?
Well, because of their size. They take a
nip
swipe.
at you and-
No, they don't. They wouldn't nip at you, but when he takes a swipe, it's a big one.
Oh, I see. You mean he could knock everything off the dining room table with one... Yeah.
The dining room table and all your guests and everything that goes with it. We must now vote, friends. We must mark our ballots, and of course, for a 1, or a 2, or a 3. And we pay $50 for each wrong vote. We pay $500 if nobody guesses right, and Bert Convy starts.
Oh, I'm still looking at them. I think they're all lying, is what I think. No, no, I really don't. I think it's number 3. He seemed to know a little bit more about the others, and he seemed kind of fond of them. I go for number 3.
All right, there's 1 for 3, and Peggy?
Well, I go for number 3, but I'm voting for number 1 because he said something about the wolf's hair structure, and a wolf has a very coarse coat, so his hair structure must be different than, for instance, your hair structure.
Yes. Well, I'm not that kind of wolf anyway.
Yes, you are.
Quite true. We got a 3 and a 1. Now we're going to go to Bill Cullen.
That's funny. I go for number 1, but I'm going to vote for number 3. No, he has a look of a kind man whose wife brings a little wolf home, and he says, come in, and I would do it.
All right, Kitty, what are you going to do
I'm
about
going to
this?
vote for number 3. I'm furious I didn't find out where the original puppy came from, but maybe we can find that out later.
Oh, maybe there are lots of things we can find out later. Like, for instance, we can find out, will the real John Harris please stand up? Nice going, Posse. And And for the first time this week in Skunk the Panel, totally, it cost us $500, which we cheerfully give to everybody. That's great. Let's find out about the imposters. Number one, what is your real name, sir? What do you do?
My name is Jack Evans, and I do the overnight show on WTFM radio in New York.
Hear it every night. And number three, with 3 big votes, what is your real name, please, and what do you do?
My name is Tony Lafko. I'm a professional skier and director of public relations at Vernon Valley Ski Area in New Jersey.
John Harris, does your interest in wildlife manifest itself in the form of any organization or?
Yes, we have an organization called the North American Association for Preservation of Predatory Animals.
Uh-huh.
And we're located in Oakland, California.
And what have you been able to achieve?
Well, we're mainly doing animal behavior study, and we also take wolves into different classrooms throughout the country to educate the public to what a wolf really is.
I want to tell you, one thing is, this is strong, because I walked him through once before the show started. We walked right down the front of the stage and right off stage and out, and he took me with him. And that's been a good experience. John Harris and friends, thank you very much for being with us on To Tell the Truth. So long, Jethro. Well, now that we have seen a very handsome wolf, let's take a look at a picture of a very handsome gentleman. Now, this romantic-looking young man is one of the most famous novelists in history. Almost all of us have read Ivanhoe, but few would recognize... Right, Sir Walter Scott, as painted by the Scottish portraitist Sir Henry Raeburn. And our next guest on To Tell the Truth today is a direct descendant of Sir Walter Scott, and we will meet her right after a few moments.
Are the aches and 252. That's 1-800-528-5252.
Now let us meet Sir Walter Scott's descendants.
Number one, what is your name, please?
My name is Patricia Maxwell Scott, and this is one of the quill pens used by Sir Walter Scott when writing his novels.
Number two.
My name is Patricia Maxwell Scott, and this is a little coin purse used by Sir Walter Scott, and it's made of moleskin and silver.
Number three.
My name is Patricia Maxwell Scott, and this is a lock of hair from the head of my great-great-great-grandfather, Sir Walter Scott.
All right. Which one do you believe? Here is Patricia Maxwell Scott's story. I, Patricia Maxwell Scott, am the great-great-great-granddaughter of Sir Walter Scott. Born 200 years ago, Sir Walter Scott is best known as the author of Ivanhoe and the Waverley novels. However, Sir Walter Scott was also one of the great Scottish patriots. He helped Scotland to reestablish its distinctive difference from the rest of Great Britain. He was responsible for the revival of the kilt and the tartan. Scott also personally found the Scottish crown jewels, which had been lost for 100 years. Sir Walter Scott's country home, Abbotsford, a handsome stone mansion of some 100 rooms, is open to the public today. It is kept exactly as it was when he was alive, and visitors are likely to find me conducting tours through my great-great-great-grandfather's home. Signed, Patricia Maxwell Scott. And let's start the questioning with our own elegant lady, Miss Kitty Hart-Carlisle.
Thank you very much. See, this is very exciting, ladies. Number three, which famous opera was based on your great-great-great-grandfather's novel?
Lucia.
And what was the name of the novel?
That I can't remember very well. I think it was The Maid of Perth.
Thank you very much. Now, number two, you say here that your great-grandfather found found all those jewels. Where did he find them?
He found them in a little room in Edinburgh Castle.
How did he get in there?
He unlocked the door.
Sounds promising. Number one, it's very rare that writers have such beautiful castles and are born that way. Did he buy that beautiful castle after he became a famous writer, or was he born in it?
No, he wasn't born in it. He bought that castle, he built the house during his lifetime.
That's more like a good writer.
Yes.
I approve of that.
Thank you, Kitty. Let's go to Bert.
Thank you. Number 2, was Sir Walter Scott a contemporary of Robert Burns?
He was a little bit later, actually, than Robert Burns.
Number 1, were they? Then they weren't acquainted. You mean by later? Number 2,
They did meet once.
They did meet. Number 1, how did Sir Walter Scott die?
Sir Walter Scott died of a fever, which he contracted about 2 years before he died, and he went on a trip to Europe. In fact, I believe they gave him a ship. The King of England gave him a ship and sent him on a cruise for 2 years.
I see. Number 3, when was this?
This was in 1832.
Number 2, do you live in the mansion today? Is that your home?
Yes, it is.
I see. How many rooms do you occupy out of the 100?
Oh, about 10, I think.
That's not bad.
No.
Number 3.
Actually not. No, Peggy.
Number 2, who are the 2 heroines in Ivanhoe?
I think Rowena and Rebecca.
Thank you. Number 1, what's the name of that stone that they keep under the throne in Scotland that they pinched?
The Stone of Scone.
Thank you. Number 3, what's a sporran?
Sporran is a little bag with fur kind of on it, which you wear in front of your kilt.
Thank you. Number 2, where is Abbotsford?
It's about 35 miles south of Edinburgh.
Thank you. Number 1, what's haggis?
Haggis is a pie, which is made of the interior of a sheep. It's made in a sheep's stomach, the lining of a sheep's stomach.
Thank you. Number 2, when did the English throw all the Scottish crofters out and they had to come to America? Around what year was that?
Oh, it would be around the 17th century.
17th century.
Thank you, Peggy. We go to Bill Cullen now.
Number 2, what is your purpose? This is more or less of an official visit, or not official, a commercial visit. What is the purpose of your visit to the United States, number 2?
Well, it's really to mark the bicentenary of the birth of Sir Walter Scott.
I didn't get a chance to ask number 3, and I missed it somewhere. We had a quill pen, and number 2 had, I think, a little purse. Number 3, what did you have? What sort of a relic or memento did you have?
I had his hair.
A lock of his hair.
Right.
Well, that's just a lock of it. That's not... All right. I don't know. Number 2, what time are you going to get up tomorrow morning?
I'm not quite sure. Right now, I think we're rather late.
Number 3, do you expect to sleep late tomorrow morning?
Certainly, yes.
Number 1?
I have an 8 o'clock flight in the morning.
That's ridiculous.
What was supposed to be the answer?
My whole theory is because this lady who is here, it's difficult to explain because we're on tape, but this lady, the real one, is to appear on a program tomorrow morning extremely early in the morning, according to my calculations.
Inside knowledge that you have.
Well, it didn't do me any good. They're all going
No, it doesn't help you solve this particular problem at this particular time. That does us in. You're going to have to mark your ballot regardless of your lack of knowledge, as it turns out, and mark them for number 1, or number 2, or number 3. We pay $50 for each wrong guess, $500 if nobody guesses right. And Kitty Carlisle, what do you think?
Well, I couldn't vote for number 3 because she said that Lucia de Lammermoor was based on the Maid of Perth and it's based on the Bride of Lammermoor. And number 2 said the Crofters came here in the 17th century, and I thought it was a bit later. I'm sure I'm wrong, and I voted for number 1.
So, we got 1 vote for number 1, and Bert Convey's up next, please.
Yes, I feel exactly the same way, Kitty, about everything. So I voted for number 2.
Good shot, and Peggy?
Well, you see, number 2 was wrong about the date of the Crofters, but it was 17-something, and she might have just mixed that up. But number 1 said a haggis was a pie, and a haggis is a pudding. So I voted for 2 because maybe they call puddings pies. I don't know.
She had it right about the sheep's stomach and all that jazz, you know. All right, we got 2 2s and a 1, and we go to Bill Cullen.
Well, I agreed with Bert Convey, who was in complete agreement with Kitty, and for that reason, I had a vote for number 2 also. But I think she has to get up early tomorrow.
Well, there we got it. We've got 3 2s and Kitty Carlisle with a lonely number 1. So the votes are all in. Will the real Patricia Maxwell Scott please stand up? Thank you very much. Let's find out about number 1. Number 1, you're quite good. What is your real name, please, and what do you do?
My name is Maura Fitzgerald. I'm Irish, and I'm a sales representative with Irish International Airlines.
Number 3, I'm afraid you were done in by the Bride of Lammermoor. What is your real name, please, and what do you do?
My name is Helen McGregor, and I'm a fashion designer.
Fashion designer. Good. Am I given to understand, then, that Sir Walter Scott made enough money during his lifetime, not to be crass, to build this mansion?
No. Yes, he did.
Good for him.
That was rather remarkable,
he did
wasn't
indeed,
it?
yes.
Mm-hmm.
He made...
Pardon me, I interrupted you.
Yes, he made more than enough at that time.
Isn't
the
that
financial crash came after it was completed.
That always happens. Yeah. Well, thank you very, very much for being with us. It's been fun, and thank you, imposters, on behalf of To Tell the Truth. Thank you.
I'd like to buy the world a home and furnish it with love. Grow apple trees and honey bees and snow white turtle doves. I'd like to teach the world to sing. Sing with me. Perfect harmony. Perfect harmony. I'd like to buy the world a cloak and keep it company. That's the real thing. I'd like to teach the world to sing in perfect harmony. Perfectly. And I'd like to buy the world a coat and keep it company. It's the real thing. What the world wants today. It's the real thing. What the world wants today. It's the real thing.
And until tomorrow at the same time, take care of yourselves, and we'll all see you then.
In addition to the Cash Awards, our central characters today will receive Carousel's Dolly M. Wig and Flex-A-Curl, the creative new hair thing, both in 26 exclusive colors from Carousel, America's largest wig manufacturer. Transportation and other considerations provided by Chevrolet, featuring the 1971 Chevelle. America's most popular mid-size car, new bumpers and grills, same solid, dependable performance at a Chevrolet price. Prizes or product mentions were furnished and or paid for by the manufacturers or supplier of the products or services identified on this program. This is Johnny Olson speaking for To Tell the Truth, a Mark Goodson, Bill Todman production.
The truth can be found in black and white with Bud Collyer. Don't miss the original To Tell the Truth, Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific.